You'll see it. Okay. Oops,
Recording
right here.
started. Yes. Hey, good evening. It's nice to see you tonight. I'm
My
on the
pleasure.
road, uh, on the road with Tubb, going to the natural food stores this week down in Blacksburg and Roanoke here in Virginia. We have some warming temperatures. It won't go down below freezing tonight, so it's
Hmm.
seasonally appropriate. And so we've got Pete Kane back on tonight. Just um, learning the ins and outs of our recording system, which is all
Yes.
vital for our endeavor here. So, how long you been using StreamYard?
About 8 years. I think I
Wow.
was one of the originals. And a friend of mine, we were doing an event right before. Well, it couldn't have been eight. It was before COVID, but so it was maybe whatever how many years ago that was. But we couldn't do the live event, so he said let's use StreamYard, and we had been using it about a year before that. So it was my first introduction to really leaning into it and doing it full gun before podcasting was even a word. I was doing the interviews with different people and ran events. So I like the program. I like the platform. It's recently changed even more to offer landscape and portrait, which is video on your phone and on your computer.
Yeah, I noticed some of the updates. I have to go watch a tutorial or something about. So that'll be good. I'm really looking forward to getting this going because uh, Pete has been encouraging me since I've been in the natural foods industry for 40 years, which boggles my mind, but it's true. Since, gosh, 1985, that's when I started working in natural food stores in Richmond, Virginia. Um, Mostly because I was interested in natural foods. So when there was
Hmm.
an opening that came up, I jumped for it. And I learned a lot. I've learned a lot. I mean, I've learned a lot about supplements, and of course, natural and organic food. What's the difference between the regular bananas and the organic bananas in the grocery store? And that's something a lot of people don't quite understand because they look the same. And one of the main differences is that commercial bananas like Chiquita, uh, they taste great, but um, and I've talked to somebody who has seen the banana. I guess they call them orchards, like in Barbados. And he said they use so much herbicide and pesticide. There's nothing that grows in between the banana trees, and that's of concern because who knows what's in the banana. If it's
Hmm.
organically certified, there's a paper trail showing you know how it was brought up and that it's been tested because um, the USDA now has testing on a federal level that didn't used to exist when the natural foods industry, when in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a kind of a consolidation from some regional organic certification into like a national program under the USDA.
Hmm.
So that's a real comforting thing. So in natural living, we want to stay away from those chemicals because we know there's a lot of bad effects. Things that have never been in nature before. We have companies that are getting better profit margin because the crops are have a higher yield, but at what price if they're using chemical fertilizers, chemical pesticides, herbicides. you know, poisons for plants and for bugs often have uh, negative effects on people.
Hmm.
And
Absolutely.
but it's once it's in your system, we don't have a way to trace the chemicals that gave you cancer back to that banana you ate 4 years ago, right? So,
Yep.
like Benjamin Franklin said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And sure, we have a great medical industry to fight cancer, but how when you look at the regular banana, 69 cents a pound, organic bananas, 99 cents a pound. I think I don't want to get cancer. I'm going to pay 99 cents a pound. And that's a basic choice that each and every one of us can make
Mhm.
about what we put in our bodies. Because, there's the thought that, our body is a temple. And I believe that, we should take care of it to the best we can. And I'd rather, you know, eat healthy. Um, and
We
that,
are what we eat.
right, there's all sorts of ways to evaluate what healthy is. So most people, if you ask them, do you eat healthy? They'll say yes because it's all relative. Um, it's hard to prove that if I've been eating organic food, organic salad, and vegetables for 30 years, it's hard to prove that I didn't get cancer because of what I ate, right? It's hard to prove that you don't get something. And then there's a lot of ways that you do get something. It's hard to prove what gave it to you. So yeah, it's
What would your advice be for somebody just starting out? If they know that they are what they eat and holistic makes sense, where do we start?
well, I would say I like the idea that Michael Pollan has espoused. He's written several books, and one
Hmm.
of them he's talking about when you go to the grocery store, you shop on the outside, not in the middle where all the processed foods are.
Hmm.
Um,
Yep.
you shop in the produce department, meat, seafood, um, uh, fresh things, dairy. Um, so yeah, staying away from processed foods would be my number one rule. Because
Hmm.
there's a lot of things that are convenient, but they know there was. Have you heard of Dr. Weston Price?
I have not.
So Dr. Weston A. Price was a dentist back in the 20s and 30s who did a survey of people around the world. And so he'd go to these third world countries and to examine. He was a dentist. He went to see how people's teeth were, and
Hmm.
so the the information he gathered over years of study were that many of these primitive people had really great teeth. You know, they had low rated cavities. They didn't need a lot of orthodontic work. But then within a generation of uh, introducing Western food, processed food, into the
Hmm.
diet, uh, the next generation, the kids that were born, had smaller mouth cavities, producing crooked teeth. And of course,
Hmm.
Western food is highly processed, usually with a lot of sugar. So, that really very graphically shows how you are what you eat. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not, uh, yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done. I, you know, I try to follow things myself, like not drinking soda. I'll have a on a blue moon maybe, but
Mhm.
I go to the grocery store. Have you ever seen people where they have those like 6 packs of soda with that are all connected with plastic, and they'll take like uh, 4 or 5 of those, and the metal of the shopping cart will go in between, so they'll have 6 on the inside of the cart, 6 on the outside, and they kind of like stack it up on and going like, oh man, it's like that's really a lot of sugar, a lot of I mean, especially if it's diet, it, chemicals like aspartame are still not great. Or
Yeah, I
um,
found when I gave up sugar, I felt so much better. I mean, it was
yeah,
about 3, 4 years ago, but I had the cravings like everybody seems to,
yeah,
like after dinner, always wanting something sweet. And now, when I do, which is rare, I don't feel very good. It
mhm,
immediately affects it. So, I mean, I guess I've gotten my system used to very little sugars, and I'm
yes,
always scanning things to see what is healthy because sometimes the packaging doesn't tell the story of the product.
that's true. I mean, if you look at a lot of products are made with flour, wheat flour.
Mhm.
Um, but sometimes the ingredient will not say. Well, the manufacturer sometimes assumes that if they put flour on there, that'll be good enough. But uh, there's oat flour, there's rice flour, there's wheat flour, and they're different. And I know I don't do all that great with wheat flour, so I will tend to steer towards gluten free, which I don't have to be,
Mhm.
but it's good to read the labels, see what's in things, inform yourself. That's the best thing is to be knowledgeable on what goes into food.
I went to vegetables first a couple years ago after a holistic kind of specialist that I was going to recommended, and it makes a difference in my energy level because I eat my vegetables first, and
Yeah,
your glucose levels, you don't spike them. But I got
right.
like little guacamole cups from Costco, and I was just scanning it like a month or two ago. It was 100 out of 100. So I was thinking that they put some additives in it and it wouldn't be, as high as I would want it to be, but I've never had anything that rated 100. Most of the stuff I find out it's very low rating, and I just making better choices based on try to eliminate as much additives and things that
Yeah,
don't have anything good for our body to try to eat as natural as possible.
yeah. Eat close to the earth.
Yeah.
Back in the '80s, a book that really heavily influenced me is a book called Sugar Blues, and it kind
Mhm.
of tracks the history of sugar in Western civilization because until the Crusades, Europe didn't have refined sugar. They only had like honey. But when the Crusaders went to the Middle East, they found these date sugar candies, which you can imagine somebody who's never had sugar before, it was like a drug for them. I mean, all of a
Yeah.
sudden they're like full of energy. It's like they were doing cocaine or something because it was so
Mhm.
drastic compared to
Yeah.
how they were feeling before. So then I think it was a good thing for sugar to be kind of rare in nature
Yeah.
because it is valuable for to give us energy, but usually better in a whole food form like an apple
Mhm.
or a banana. Um,
Mhm.
But when they started bringing sugar back to Europe, they put it in all the recipes, and
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of bad health effects because of it. Not just diabetes, but I think it
Mhm.
affects people's mental health too. And then you
Sure.
have things like candida overgrowth, which can get a real grip in your gut, and then start to crave sugar, just like you add sugar and yeast, and the yeast grows. Same thing happens
Mhm.
inside your body. So,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
need anything foreign growing inside my body. I'd like to
no,
keep it as clean as possible.
yes, yeah. So
What do
it's
you
it.
think, like, what would be like a person that can allocate $100 to being more holistic? What would you say? Do you eliminate things? Do you start small? What would your advice be to a novice just going down the holistic journey?
Well, making meals at home is a good thing, and don't not eating fast food, which is convenient, but often very lacking in nutrition. Um,
Hmm.
uh, by eat a lot of vegetables, basically
Hmm.
vegetables and protein. I know for me that's a good combination. Some
Yeah.
people's genetic background allows them to deal with grains and with dairy better than I know mine
Hmm.
does. But I figured out a lot of strategies from different ways of eating, such as the Ayurvedic diet. Um,
Hmm.
there's a diet about reflecting your blood type. Eat Right for Your Type was the name of the book, and they
Hmm.
examined the different human blood types are O, A, B, and then AB, and apes are still type O. So that's the original blood type of hunter gatherers, which is happens to be what my blood type is. And I know
Hmm.
I do best on protein and vegetables, and some fruit. But yeah, I think grains, flour, and sugar. Those are the things that um, play havoc with my body. But
Well,
I can,
let's give our how let's put up here how they can get a hold of J Tubb.
yeah, please. I'll be glad to help anybody else. I have
Yeah.
lots of more stories like the one I've been telling. You know,
Yeah.
there've been so many things I've learned on the job, helping people
Hmm.
out. I've lots of resources to draw on now, but I started learning all about natural foods before the internet, so I had to turn to books and
Yeah.
find things that I could recommend to people without, got to be careful. You can't diagnose people, but a lot of people come in already knowing, basically what they're looking to fix. And yeah, people in the health food store often are a wealth of knowledge.
Hmm.
I know I had a woman come into my health food store once who there's a tea company called Traditional Medicinals that has a laxative tea called Smooth Move, and she was looking for
Hmm.
that. And I'm going like, oh, like, um, because I know that if you don't drink enough water, you can't go.
Hmm.
And so I asked her what she'd like to drink during the day to keep hydrated, and she said
Yeah.
that all day long she drank coffee and soda. Well, both of them have caffeine, and caffeine is a diuretic, and a diuretic makes your body get rid of a lot of water. And if you don't have enough water, if you're slightly dehydrated, then you're going to be constipated. So basic,
That's good to know.
stay hydrated, drink good, clean water. Yeah, pass up the soda. If you're tempted, like when I'm tempted at home, I get a spritzer, no
Yeah.
sugar, but it's thirst quenching.
Yes. Well, Jay, I appreciate you being edu- being so educational and helping us in our holistic journey. Because I tell you, right now, today, there's more evidence that we are what we eat, and if we go down that holistic journey, we're going to be a lot healthier. So, thanks
That's right.
for supporting us in this journey.
Buy the organic bananas.
Love it. I
Thanks,
love
Pete.
it. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you.